people will have a big vision and they'll lock into that. Be like, well, I have a vision. I'm going to do this. I think people are uneducated on how the little things impact the bigger vision. So when you're saying things like, and this is again, I've been guilty of this when I was like, well, I'm going to get here. But then people be like, yo, man, I thought you said you were going to give me a call.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, well, I'll get back. But like, yo, and I have mentors that have had that conversation you're talking about with me. They're like, yo, dude, listen, you got people here that want to help you. This is giving me an indication of the reason you're in the place you are in.
Yeah.
And it sucks to hear that, bro.
It does. But you need it. That's a good mentor. That's a good teacher. You don't want bobbleheads as mentors. Yes. It's not you, it's everyone else. You don't want that.
Right, exactly. And he schooled me on that specifically. He's like, listen, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you're failing to show up for this one call, where else are you failing to show up? Live.
We are live, baby.
Yes.
It's the 2 Live crew.
Woo! Wow. You going
back?
I don't know if our users don't know who that is.
Man, they were banned back in the day.
Bruh.
Yeah. It was like one of those groups that I only liked because the adults told me not to buy it or not to listen to it. So it was like, a little defiance going on.
I think that's how they got most of their popularity.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the scantily clad women in the videos, but just the fact that people were like, yo, man, don't listen to them. Okay.
Yeah. Where do I get this?
Yeah. So for people that have yet to know who the 2 Live crew is, basically the OGs of ratchetness.
Yeah.
That's basically the best way to describe it. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. That's actually a good way to say it. Yeah, good clean way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, the PC way. People that actually end up seeing it, you understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So welcome to this More Than Black or White, people. Golly, welcome back. Another episode is about to be on the books. We got your host, Paul
the same duo. Same duo. Back for more.
Yeah, back for more. And we got some special stuff coming. You see, we got the Instagram. You see, we got some shorter video content out there. Like, share, subscribe on the goodies. Like, share, and subscribe. It's only right. And to kick things off, how you doing, B?
Today it's every day is good. It's like fake it till you make it kind of thing. But it was an early start. I didn't sleep too good. Woke up early. Still just trying to become disciplined. Or still maintaining my disciplinedness. Is that a word? Disciplinedness? It's my word now.
Yeah, it is now.
And just working, grinding, just getting to places. So I'm a 1% better than I was yesterday. That's all it's all about. It's like small wins equal big wins, right? Something like that.
Bro, we should really talk about that, man.
You know what? We're here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
How are you, man? What's in your world?
Bro, so what is in my world? I gotta tell you, I've been in this spiritual like crash course. It's like a spiritual master class. Spirit is really just laying out some very valuable lessons for me right now. Like that good instructor that's hard as hell on you in a caring way. They're like, yo, man, come on, man. You just messed that up, right? That's all right. Just clean that up, son. Yeah, I'll be back in 5 years. But so it's Spirit's giving me some great lessons right now. So I'm really excited about that.
What are you learning? What are you learning? Give us one thing you learned about yourself.
Yeah. So my attachment to time rather than my attachment to experiences. So one of the things I learned is when I want something, when I set the intention for something, I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I want it by a certain time. Like I want
Yeah.
it by like I want it now, or I want this to happen in three
Hmm.
years, and I'm only focused on the time. And what Spirit was educating me on is that no, what you get comes with experiences. Like, so the experiences that you think are mundane, the experiences that you think are just don't matter, they all matter. They're all shaping you, they're all teaching you, even if more is caught than taught. So you could think like, I'm not learning anything at this job, it just sucks. Really, you're actually learning how to deal with adversity and chaos, how you shine in it, right? Like, but
Yeah.
I used to never there was times I was thinking that way, but underneath I was really like, yo, I'm ready for this shit to come right now.
Yeah.
You know what I
Now,
mean? So
when I was out in Senegal, we had like an itinerary that we had to go by.
yeah.
And I remember we were like an hour away one time, and the place was closing like in an hour and a half. And I was like, should we get going? Like, we might be late if we, hit traffic or they close early or whatever. And they're like, out here we don't chase time. Time chases us. I'm like, I like that. He's like, that's the African way.
Brother,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah, so many like cool little things I learned out there. Like the roads are really bad out in Senegal, and he's like,
wow.
you're hitting potholes, you're going up and down." He's like, "It's an African massage. Let's go."
Yo, I dig it, bro. I
They're
dig
so cool
all
out there,
that,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
Oh, that wait. We don't chase time, time chases us.
yeah. It's like that's the American way. We don't chase time. Time chases us. You know.
Mm,
No, I like that.
wow.
I thought that was
I'm
pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, I like that. He's like, we get there when we get there.
mm-hmm. You know
Yeah.
what? In our country, we call that CP time, CPT, colored people time. Because usually color they and I don't even know why I just said colored. But anyway, it's what the acronym is. It represents. But usually there's a stereotype that people of color are usually late.
Oh, I don't see that at all. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, like I do. So I'm like, yo, we're supposed to get this thing kicked off. Now
Yeah.
I'll be notoriously late. So
Mhm.
I learned that by small actions, I was able to get better at being on
Yeah.
time. And I think that, even when you think about the lessons that we learn, these are small things, right? These
Sure.
little things that we experience and go through. All of a sudden, it's like, this is ridiculous. Then, like 7 or 100 or 20 years later, you're like, yo, I remember when I did that. That was huge. That was a big piece, right? Like I think Steve Jobs was like, you can always connect the dots when you look back.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a good idea for us to discuss the relevance of the small wins, the power of the small wins, and how they contribute to the big success. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I
I
think
agree.
that'd be freaking real good thing. So first of all, let's even just to analyze this, man. And what I mean, like, where is the concept, Brian, that you see for our society, right? How do you think we as a society view small wins?
I think we're very motivated,
Yeah.
but that motivation wears off very quickly, and you have to rely on discipline. And we have no discipline because we want
Mhm.
that as a society. We want that instant gratification, and kind of go hand in hand with that. Most people don't dream big enough, and they don't. And the reason, and they don't get what they want in life. They play the safe route. They dream small, So like I talk to people all the time, like, hey, where do you want to be next year? Or like, what's your, your 1 year goal or your 3 year goal? And they're like, oh, maybe take a vacation, maybe save like a couple $1,000s in the next couple of years, so I have some money that I can kind of like, feel more comfortable with. I'm like, man, you dream so small, man. Like, and I think just two reasons people don't reach their goals. One is faulty programming in within them. They're either told at a young age, like it's very hard to make money or very hard to be successful in life. And I really truly think they believe that. And it gets programmed, and they can talk all you want, but like we talked about this in the past episode, you can say anything you want, but if you feel that it's tough to be successful on a financial way, or in a successful way, it's going to be tough and you're never going to get there. And
Mm,
two is discipline. We don't have discipline as a culture. Again, everyone wants something just quick, gratification, just quick gratification. They don't want to put the time into it. And I tell people all the time, like, you don't want to get to that goal quick. If you can get to that goal quick, you know what the competition would be? Like
yeah,
there would be so much competition, you wouldn't be able to be successful. You want it to be tough. You want to fail. You want to fall down. You want to learn, but just keep going, keep being disciplined. Even if you don't know what you want to do something. And that can be an example of a small win. There's
yeah,
times where I wake up in the morning and really like the night before, like I checked all my boxes. Like I really don't have too much to do. I'm like, all right, let me just go YouTube and like learn marketing.
yeah,
Just staying disciplined. Don't take a day off. Don't do, like even when I was out in like, Africa, like 2 weeks, every day I'm doing something. I'm updating the Instagram. I didn't miss it. I think I missed one day because like I was in the Sahara and I have no internet.
yeah.
But
You were like,
yeah, exactly. I'm on top of like the sand dune. I'm like, come on.
I got a
But for
ball.
me, I have to be disciplined. It's tough. Like, and I don't want to break that mold. Like
Yeah,
sometimes, like on Sundays, or like alarm clock go off, and Hayani's like, it's like, oh, it's Sunday, take a day off. I'm like, I can't. Like,
no,
I gotta
bro.
do something. Like, it'll
Yeah,
irritate the shit out of me if I don't, because I've been creating those habits for such a long time. So I
yeah.
try to do something a little bit every day. That's the long version. What about you? What do you think is one of the many things wrong with society?
So, I mean, you hit on a lot of them, and I wrote down a couple that the one specific, like, well, the discipline definitely,
Yeah.
because I think that there's a, and I find it in myself too. Like, if I fail to have a goal or have an end game in mind, then it's easy for me to just like get off my path, right?
Hmm.
But the thing that I was really that what I agree with what you say is that I think we're programmed for the big win, for the big hit, right? I think there's this concept of, well, we it's got to be something big or grandiose or it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the culture or programming that is out here, whether it's social media, whether it's TV. Like, there's some things out there where it's like, people just made it big, but people are failing to acknowledge like all the little things that they did to get to where they are, right? To be able to have that kind of that kind of wherewithal or have that position that a person is in. Like, they had to go through struggle, a lot of struggle usually, to get there, and a lot of those small wins. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem I see B is the programming, yes, and the imagery of success.
Mm.
It's like people, like, I think in the culture, and I think you and for some reason, I think you and I have had a conversation about this, be about the glamour of entrepreneurship, but really it's like being a sanitation worker. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta be in shit, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta deal with shit. Like,
Yeah.
most of it is my own internal shit. You know what I mean? Like, all the stories that are gonna come up in my head saying that I can't do something because I've never done it before. And before I take a pause, another thing that I agree with what you say, and it's something I've had to reprogram myself, is to dream bigger. Because Les Brown says something else. He's like, most time people dream too small and hit, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, damn, well, that was
Mhm.
easy. But then they won't go for something bigger. But
Yeah.
this is why I think the small wins are really important, because it's like it's building confidence to that bigger thing, right? So one of the other things, and I know I said I was going to stop talking, but one of the other things that I like that you said is like, I got to do something every day.
Yeah.
So one of my things is like every day to move in different planes of motion. Like sometimes if I don't get to do it in the morning before I go to work, then I'm like doing lunges and push-ups and I'm doing like bicycles. Like I know they got cameras at work, so they're probably like, what the hell? But like for me, it's a mechanism to let my body know, like, yo, I care about you. Okay, like I care about this vessel. So when I'm going for the stuff that I want to go for, like being able to like drive these places, do these presentations, drive home, be able to have calls, be able to do this and have the mental, physical wherewithal, I got to make sure I'm putting in those small actions for my body so that I have the confidence to know I can physically handle this.
Yeah,
I got the, you know what I mean? It's just to me, that's such a huge part of doing just something a little bit every day, man. Huge, bro. It's a
I
big one.
agree. I
Big, big,
agree.
big, big. But but it's I think that there's such a downplay of the small stuff, Brian.
Sure. Because the small stuff is not sexy.
It's
Everybody
not
wants to.
sexy.
Everybody wants to view, and no one wants to climb.
Right. Ah,
So I see, like you were talking about the entrepreneur thing. People are like, oh, like I want to pick your brain a little bit. I want to know what you do so I can kind of do what you're doing and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can't even get on a call at a right time. Like you don't want it. Like I have people call me like oh, I can't make the call today. Something came up and like last minute and blah blah. Like you can't even like have enough like self respect for yourself that you can't even make a call and reach out to me. How are you going to get up 3 hours, 4 hours early than you're normally used to, do things out of your comfort zone if you can't even have enough self integrity as far as being a professional to get on a call at a time you said you're going to get on a call? I'm like, you don't want it. And I tell people that I'm like, part of me is not like trying to be a dick about it, but part of me is like, I'm trying to save you the pain. You're just not ready yet.
yeah.
You're not ready yet. You almost got to get to a point where you get pissed off at yourself because of the situation that you're in,
Yeah.
and then use that energy and flip it into something positive, flip it into
Yeah.
some kind of motivation. That's what you got to do. Like I got to a point when like I remember when I was like 34, I had like $300 to my name. I came back from Florida. I was like, living on my sister's couch. Everything kind of fell through. And I got to a point where I was like, I keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. I'm like, fuck this. Like, and it's my fault. I'm probably like, it's my fault. I'm tired of blaming other people around me. I'm putting myself in that situation. I'm working with people that don't have the same values and morals and ethics to me. Because in the beginning, I was trying to make as much money as I can. I didn't really care who I was business partner. I just wanted to make as much money as I can. And now, as you reflect later on in life, you realize like the business partners, that's your biggest asset. The people in your inner circle, that is your biggest asset. It's not money. That'll automatically come if you surround yourself with good people. Like we had this conversation, like, I'm joining an entrepreneurial group where like, everyone makes X amount of money and all these people probably make more money than me,
Right.
but that's good because
Right.
if everyone just say hypothetically, everyone's making $1 million and I made say 100,000 last year, guess what? Guess who's going to be the next millionaire? This guy, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
that's the way it works,
Yeah, man. Listen, well, you put yourself in it. If you climb up to a higher tree, you're gonna get a better view.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's what it is. I want to check in on something too because you said something that I think is really important. In I think whether it's entrepreneurship or like relationship or whatever, is I think people fail to recognize like people will have a vision, right? People, and this may be a judgment, but this is what I just observed. People will have a big vision, and they'll lock into that. Be like, well, I have a vision. I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
I think people are uneducated on how the little things impact the bigger vision. So when you're saying things like, and this is some again, I've been guilty of this when I was like, well, I'm going to get here, but then people be like, yo, man, I thought you said you were going to give me a call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, well, I'll get back. But like, yo, and I have mentors that have had that conversation you're talking about with me. They're like, yo,
Mhm.
dude, listen, you got people here that want to help you. This is giving me an indication of the reason you're in the place you are in.
Yeah.
And it
And
sucks to hear that, bro.
it does.
But
Yeah.
he's
But you
right.
need it.
I
That's a
needed
good
that.
mentor. That's a good teacher. You don't want bobbleheads as mentors. Yes.
No,
Yes. It's not you, it's everyone else. You don't want that.
Right, exactly. And he schooled me on that specifically. He's like, listen, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you're failing to show up for this one call, where else are you failing to show up?
Yeah.
That's going to impact the bigger vision. So this is another piece about the psychology, even of the small wins, because when I'm in integrity with it, right? Now all of a sudden it's going to show up. Where else can I be in integrity? Like, okay, well, oh
Mhm.
yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I'm curious for you, like, and I want us to share some habits that we've had to take on.
Yeah.
Because bro, I love like seeing where you are now and like us having conversations on where you're going, and then you sharing conversations. Like, I love when you tell the story about when you came back from Florida and you're
Mm.
like, yo, I was $300. And like there was this fire in you. So I'm curious, like, let's share with the audience, like, and when you were in that space, right?
Mhm.
What were some of the habits that you chose to take on that helped you get out of it?
Yeah, I didn't really have a big enough why at the time.
Mm,
And one of my whys was I met somebody and we wound up having a long relationship, and I met her and she came from a lot of money. So my thing as a man is I want to support my family. Like I want to be like, it sounds maybe like, masculine, but I want to be the caregiver. I want to be the person that financially supports the family.
yeah.
So, just push from, $1 million house, driving a Range Rover, like, and I'm sitting here with my, my broken down, rusted out Hyundai Sonata, like that's 12 years old, it's clunking out on me. And I made it to a point right there. That was my why. I was like, all right, I need to change. Like, if this is going to work out, like I need to change. Like,
Mhm.
there's something and that motivated me right there. So I started like, man, I've read like books. Like I went through a book by every 4 days, just reading. And one of the books I came across it was a book that was called How Social Media Made Me Rich. And I wound up meeting the guy in Atlanta. I went out there, flew out with him a couple of years later, and I worked with him. The guy Matthew Loop, really good guy. And one of the chapters in there was like how to create an Amazon business. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. And then I just happened to be talking to one of my clients at the time, and he's like, "Oh, this sounds good." And long story short, we became partners, and the best business partner I ever like had. The guy
This
was
JB?
no, it's another John. This guy John Spellman,
Okay, yeah.
and
Oh, that's yes. I was thinking JS. Yeah, but yes,
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking of. Yes,
So,
okay. Nice.
but once I got into the business and I started, I put everything I saved, I put it into this business. And even though like I was working at Lifetime at the time, and I knew I didn't want to be there long term. I just didn't like the corporate thing, but I kind of like sucked it up, played the game, took 20% of my paycheck, just like living off like ramen noodles, and just like invested it into this Amazon business. And long story short, like it blew up over the last like 10 years, and I do very well at it. I don't recommend people getting into it now. Amazon's a complete shit show. That's for another topic. But
That's what we talk
it
about tonight.
yeah. But I made it to a point where I was reading as much as I could. I was finding people where I wanted to be and learn, and I was okay with learning new things every single day. And I think that's a big thing I see with people. It's like once they find something, they know they're like, oh, I want to open a gym. Okay. I had somebody the other day that reached out to me like, oh, I want to open it. I'm thinking about buying this gym.
Yeah,
Okay. Send me your business plan. And I don't hear from them,
yeah,
and I reach out to them a couple of days later because we're friends. I'm like, hey, what's up with that? It's like, yeah, I decided not to because I don't know how to do a business plan. I'm like, you have a goal, but this is how people think. Like most, right when they hit it, right when they hit it like a bump in the road, they just stop. They don't know. They're like paralysis by or analysis by paralysis. I think that's right. And they
yeah.
just
You're
kind of
right, right.
they just stop and they freeze like a deer in a headlight, and they're like, oh, I can't do that. You can literally this day and age, you can literally just chat GPT. How do you write a business plan? Or Yeah, it's so easy. You can like watch a YouTube video, but people get like stuck in what they think is going to be easy, and they lose their dream, and they're like, okay, I'll just go back to corporate and work my 9 to 5, and
Yeah.
have a shitty life, or not the life they want to live.
Oh man,
But yeah,
oh, I just want real quick. I get so jammed up with that piece, right? When like with the business plan,
hmm
like hey, give me a business plan. I get jammed out up about it because I used to do this on a regular in my 20s, in my early 30s, bro. Probably
hmm
in my mid 30s.
yeah,
Like, and this was around the time I got smacked around by some mentors, like, yo, man, you just change. Anyway, so what would happen is like someone would ask me for something and I'd be ghost because I didn't know.
yeah,
And then it got to a point where it was just like because there was an ego there, rather than say, "Hey, I don't know." Like, "Hey, I
yeah,
haven't, you know what, bro, I haven't even written a business plan. Like, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what I would pay for this." Instead, I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, let me get back to you. Let me get
yeah.
back to you. Oh, I'll get back to you," or like chime in like some bullshit. But
hmm
now, recognizing how far it set me back, it annoys me when I think about it, right, B?
yeah,
And I want to share with people like, yo, you can ask anybody or anything. You can ask a person, you can ask Google, YouTube, Chat GPT. So much is here for you right now.
yeah. I do masterminds all the time. In these groups, these entrepreneurial groups. And there's times where like I'm sitting with 10 people in a circle and 9 of them are like, yeah, like throwing out this jargon and they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah,
fill me in. And
right.
all of them, every single one of them was like, oh yeah, okay, let's take a minute now. Let's show you what to do. And they explain, like people love explaining things. People love to like, if they can teach you something, there's something in the human consciousness which is just like uplifts you when you can teach something valuable to something. So don't be scared and ask a question like you can feel stupid. At one point, these people didn't know what this was either.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's
So
the truth, man.
and I'm always been like I've always been a type of person like I don't really care what people think. If you look at me in a derogatory way because if I have a question, I don't want you in my inner circle. I don't want you teaching me because I don't
Yeah.
respect you. So it's like that's an easy way to find out who you should have is in your inner circle or not. If somebody rolls their eyes at you, like, oh God, look at this guy. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. Like there's one less person I need to talk to. But
What is
the
that?
majority of people, like, they love teaching. I love teaching. If you come to me, Paul, and be like, hey man, like, I don't know what this is. I know it sounds pretty basic in the world of finance, but like, teach me. And I'm like, all
Teach
right.
me this.
Yeah. And if I don't know, hey, let's figure it out together. Or let's get on a call with somebody that knows how to do it. People love teaching.
I, I know I love it.
Yeah.
I know I love it.
hmm
You said something and I got so excited, and then you were talking, and I got excited about other stuff and I forgot. But whatever. Um, I'm like, damn. But dude, I want to checking in on something because when we talk about these successes and oh, that was the thing you said. You said, yeah, so we started with JS, we started this business and it blew up over 10 years.
hmm
And I freaking love that you said that. I love that you said it blew up over 10 years because it's almost like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Like when people think, oh, this blew up, like it just happened. No, it doesn't. It fails to just happen. Like there were trials and tribulations that Brian and JS went through
Yeah.
that it was like, yo, man,
Yeah.
um,
We launched in the fall of 2016. I didn't take my first penny out until the spring of 2020.
I remember when you told me that, bro.
So I
I
went
remember
like over
you
to
told me
three and a
that.
half years without taking a dime. But I was okay with it because it's like I'm investing in myself. Like, and I'm a very like no matter how much money I ever make, like I'm a very simple man. I don't need a lot. The
Yeah.
shirt I think I bought on some website for like $16. Like my whole outfit right now probably cost me like $30.
Bruh.
And I got slippers, I got shoes, I got box, like, like that's the way I'll always be. I'll always be a Kohl's man. Like, drop me off at Kohl's with a $50 gift card. I'll
Listen,
leave a smile on my face,
listen, yo, bro. Look, you and I are gonna go. We're gonna go clothes shopping at Costco, bro.
There we go.
Yo, bro. Okay. I have no qualms with this.
Yeah.
Costco, I'll go that piece. I'm right there with you. I'll get a
Mhm.
fresh outfit, $40. If that, man.
Yeah.
And you something like, yo, and I'm talking like what you're saying, like, yo, okay, I got the shirt, I got some
Mhm.
sock calcetines,
Mhm.
I got the goodies, bro. And listen, that's being funny. Like, listen, there's something like really fresh and it feels real good on my
Yeah.
skin. Sure, I may indulge every now and then, but I'd rather spend my money on other things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, shoot, what? Anywho, but like this is part of the the wins, right? The small wins, because I think the small wins really what we're talking about, Brian, are these habits, these experiences that we go through to get us to a
Mhm.
certain place. And I think I just want to make sure that because we've said some things throughout this that I think are important. I want us to just pause and highlight
Mhm.
when it comes to identifying and implementing our own habits. Like you notice that Brian and I have certain things that we're working towards, right? Like Brian was talking about, hey, listen, I'm building business. I want to learn something about marketing. Like and if you listen to past episodes, Brian talks about, okay, I'm regimented this way. For me, like my health is a concern. Like I want to get to 108, but also like my body is a representation of a vessel. Like, so what do I have the capacity to do? If I'm slovenly, if I'm sluggish, then like I'm not gonna have the capacity to do everything I want to do. So you may remember, like I've said in the past episode, like bro, I would do the sun salutation every morning. Still don't do it at night, but I do it every morning. I
Yeah.
started off like to get myself back in shape. I would do 20 lunges on each leg, and then I do 20 push-ups, like every day. Like, and now there were times where I was like, oh man, I should really get to the gym. I should have known myself, but I'm like, okay, I didn't get there today. I did my push-ups though. I did my
Mhm.
lunges though. Like, so there's little things like,
Yeah.
yo, and eat and listen, you may miss a day. Get your ass back on it.
Mhm.
Okay. And you're gonna recognize like something that you said, Brian, was also I want to highlight is when you have the why at the end of it, you aligning to these habits that are yours and specific to you and where you want to go
Yeah.
will get you in your direction, and it will get you there, bro.
Yeah. And is it a quote out there that's kind of cliche? It's like if you have a big enough why, your hows don't matter. Like a lot
That's
of
the
people worry,
damn
like, oh,
truth.
how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? Don't worry about it. Just
Yeah.
do some little action every day. Have the end goal in mind, and that's it. The universe will take you. I was reading a Mike Dooley quote one time, or not a quote, but he has like a story, and he's kind of like he's like think about it as like you get in your car and you're going on a 3 hour trip, and you put the address in the final destination. Do you really care how you get there? No, you just trust whatever happens. Oh, there's a roadblock there. Navigation will just put you on a different way. You just don't worry about the hows. Just keep the end result in mind. Keep the car in drive,
Yep.
gas, foot on the gas, and just keep going.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get there.
You'll get
You know,
there.
people get caught up because that's like the whole like analytical brain. We're so left brained as a society. We're worried about every little intricate detail. And if one goes off or one doesn't go according to plan, we just get totally derailed. And like if when you're as you're listening to this, it's not like we're talking a lot about like psychology blocking that creates dysfunction, the small habits that you're trying to create, which overall leads to a non-existent big goal that you have. So it's all about like unblocking these faulty programs in that you have installed, and just go to learn every
Uh,
day.
every day learn. And I'm gonna come back to programming because we started off the episode like
Yeah,
this, right? Comes back to the same thing. The small wins, those small habits is programming.
yeah,
You already do it. When you watch Netflix, when I'm watching Pluto, Columbo, and CSI, shit, I'm programming my brain, man.
yeah,
But the thing is, I'm programming it to what someone else wants me to watch and see. So, people, like what's your program? What do you want to program yourself to achieving?
Yeah.
And you said something that I think is so important when we're talking about this, B, is doing these habits and these small wins, or having these
Mhm.
small wins, it's going to help you with the setbacks.
Yeah.
It's going to help you, man. Like, bro,
Mhm.
listen, let me tell you. Like, you know how I feel about the yoga practice. Now, you'll be free of seeing me standing on my head, or like, you probably won't see me post a bunch of pictures of me in some freaking tight ass spandex showing my
Mhm.
moose knuckle and shit. But like, I love a yoga practice, man.
Mhm.
Because I'll give you a perfect example. When I had the court hearing on Wednesday, I was flustered, bro. I was like flabbergasted. I was all dizzy. You know what I did that night? I went and took a yoga class.
Good for you.
Yeah, I went and took a yoga class. It
Yeah.
was a slow flow. Bless up to Vanessa. Thank you for freaking
Mhm.
a great class. And I was like, man. Then I had some great tea afterwards, man. I was like,
Mhm.
I needed this. And it
Yeah.
helped me over the next several days because again, like the next morning, did my son Sally's. Now I got this thing where I incorporate at least 5 pull-ups and dips and like at least 100 jump ropes. So it's like, okay, I still got that in. Perfect, good. And I was able to like things that's like we started off the episode. What's in my world? That's when this whole thing with spirit started to come through. And I want to emphasize this too, B, and to the people listening. When you're locked into these habits, you're getting these small wins. My dude, Brian's dude, Napoleon Hill,
Mm.
talks about the hypnotic rhythm. You can be in this rhythm where you're just like, yo, this is what I do. This is what I do. It's like I don't even think about it. Like, yo, man, why are you getting up at 5:30 on a Sunday, bro? This is what I do. You just go, you good. I'll see you in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's like you get in the rhythm, and it can go either way. Like I had a habit of getting some Wendy's double stacks. I had to rewire that habit because it was getting me nowhere but freaking high blood pressure and a big ass belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do we want here?
It's funny. I think kind of going off what you're saying a little bit too is like we live in a society that so much depression, so much anxiety, so much suicide is like through the roof. It's absolutely crazy. And I believe it's like these people, we are as a society, we're not fulfilling our dharma. Remember, we had the whole episode on not fulfilling your dharma, and that not fulfilling your dharma or your life's purpose, in another ways of saying
Mhm.
it puts so much stress on the soul, which is gonna lead to so much stress on the mental, emotional, causal, physical body. And setting up these small goals, like just being disciplined and doing these small steps to reach that big goal, even if it takes you 20 years, those small steps, they reduce so much overwhelmness that you might have, so much anxiety that you might have, because the dharma is slowly being fulfilled, whether you realize it or not. And your soul's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Again, and
Mm,
the trick is to just how to stay disciplined. That's
yeah.
what it comes down to. How to stay
Yeah.
disciplined. And like one of my biggest fears is like, not that it's like I wouldn't say fear, but like something I do not look forward to is when I get older. And as you get older, you start to reflect more on life. And I don't want to be, in my 70s or 80s with like, maybe a couple of decades left and looking back and being like, fuck, man, I should have done that. I should have took more risks. I should have, did I really have to watch, 12 seasons of the Lost, to know what happened?
That's a great
Or
show, by the way.
yeah,
Um,
it was a great show, and I did watch them all. But I didn't have to at that time.
me
That's probably why
too.
I was broke at that time. That's probably one of the reasons. Damn Lost. We all knew it was going to happen at the end, and I still
We
watched
all
it.
knew they were dead. We all
Yeah.
knew.
You're like,
No,
I'm
sad.
6 seasons in. Might as well watch another 30. Let's see what happens. But like, look back and look back at so much wasted time. Like I look back at my 20s, man. I spent so much money on alcohol, booze, like just like
Bro.
partying, clubbing. I'm like, man, if I just like put 10% of that to the side and like investing in a business, God, or just like, did something, God. I would, but it also made me who I am today. So I don't have any regrets. But I look back, I'm like, it's kind of stupid, but
Yo, the beautiful thing is now you get to share this wisdom with others, man.
yeah.
You
But
know what I
if I
mean?
share
Like,
it with somebody that's in their 20s, do you think they're going to listen?
no,
No,
no, they're
but we
not.
can, you and I, we were in we're the same age, so we can look
Yeah,
back and we can have a laugh, and we can, poke fun at each other for doing that. But you know,
yeah.
everyone's got to go through that pain funnel. You got to go through that pain funnel, and you got
Ooh.
to hit. It's almost like you have to hit rock bottom to motivate you. Because I got to a point, like I said, when I came back, $300 in my name on my sister's couch, and I'm like, fuck my life. I'm like, all right, this is good news. Is I probably can't get any worse than this. So you know, only one way to go. But that point was like rock bottom for me, and that's when like something like a switch went off at me, and I was like, all right, let's go. Starting tomorrow, set my alarm clock at 5 o'clock, and let's do this. We're gonna do something.
Hey, so man, you just brought something up for me, man. That I'm curious, that I'm thinking about for myself, really too. Is once you decide to make the change
Mm.
and you take on new habits, I'm gonna speak for myself, and I take on new habits. There was a painful part in recognizing the impacts of the old habits I had. It was, I don't even know, like that's the best way I could explain it. Like, so to give a specific example, um, what would be an example? Like, so, all right, breakfast. Okay. I would always think like, yo, man, I just gotta have something to break the fast in the morning. Right? Like, oh, I gotta have something. And usually, like as time went on, I got more stressed. It would usually be like a bagel, a little bit of coffee with a lot of cream and sugar, or some sort of like bacon, egg, and cheese, or tail ham, egg, and cheese. And that would be a habit. Like, okay, I'm gonna eat something, nourish myself, blah, blah, blah. As I started to really take care of myself, or like teach myself how to take care of myself, I realized I don't really need a breakfast, or a breakfast that heavy. Like maybe I could do a shake, some fruits, eggs, avocado, something like that. When I started doing that, I recognized, I was like, oh shit. And I think it was really when I was doing the detox, I was like, oh shit. Like literally, because that's what was coming out. I was like, what the? I was like, anywho, that's it, yo. Omar had me take pictures so like he could see like what was going on. I was like, bro,
Yeah,
how do you do that shit? He was like,
yeah,
it doesn't even bother me. You know, I know what's going on. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
that's nasty, bro. I'm like,
yeah,
anyway, but like I reckon it really hit me what I was doing to myself. And a lot of it was I was unconscious with it too.
sure,
And I think, you know, we're talking about developing these good small habits, these good small wins. But I also want to make people aware of like this will help you recognize these small losses that we can take, that will bring us, or these, yeah, that will bring us into this place of dis-ease,
yeah,
of going further away from your dharma. And again, these little things that we do, they're the small losses.
yeah,
Oh, you stepped away. You got away. Up. You got away. You got away from that. And then I gotta find the wins. And as I'm going here now, I gotta find the wins. Come back. So it can go. This whole habit thing can go either way, my friends. We call them wins, but I think the bigger thing is like, what's the habits that we're taking on to get us to where we want to go?
One thing too is like what was interesting that I found out very quickly is when you had that switch, and I guess a metaphor would be like, you go from a caterpillar to a butterfly when you decide to make that switch. And those habits that you had in the past, say as a caterpillar, you attract certain people to you.
Mm,
And once you make that switch, people don't recognize you as a butterfly.
yeah.
They don't recognize you anymore. You lose a lot of those people, and your inner circle shrinks a lot because people don't. That's when you find out who really loves you.
Yeah, bro.
I mean,
Yeah.
not just on surface value, because they respect what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
and they're like your personal cheerleaders from the side. And a lot
Hmm.
of people don't like that. Misery attracts misery. If you got bad habits of, you know, eating and like shit, drinking, partying, you know, sleeping to, 2 in the afternoon, going to bed at 6 in the morning, like what type of people are those? I'm not saying everyone's bad, but those are probably not successful people. Those are probably not people that you want to emulate in life in the long run.
Hmm.
So you lose that type of those type of people out of your life, and you're very lonely as an entrepreneur. Like when you first trying to build something, it's a lonely place, and not a lot of people get it. And the best thing to do is actually put yourself in entrepreneurial groups so you can kind of relate. It's almost like those like Alcoholics Anonymous, or like where you can only like you have to be around those type of people to really understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
man.
support
Yeah.
groups, like certain kind of support groups.
Yeah, no, brother. Man, you said it, brother. You said it. It's funny, not funny, haha, but funny, strange. I'm having this conversation with my son right now, about being alone at times, especially when the group that you're around isn't
Mm.
always for you.
Sure.
And he's a young kid, man. So it's easier for me to say it as an adult that's been through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Your main goal is to be liked and have girls around you, and people think you're cool.
yeah, to me, think you're cool. Like, yeah, hey, I want to be with the cool kids,
Yeah.
man. So,
And the more stupid shit you do, the cooler you are.
right, right. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how it is in like freaking middle school and high school,
Yeah.
man. Like, oh, that
Exactly.
was crazy. I
Yeah.
like he's a freaking cool dude. Like,
Yeah.
but like sometimes, Brian, you bring a really great point, man. Especially when we're taking on these new things, like it can be lonely. It can be lonely because really, man, you know what the thing success, and I think you and I have talked about this too when we've talked about entrepreneurship is, the bliss of success, and there's always also like a loneliness of success.
Mhm.
Because there's nights like, and I know you probably you know this too. There's the early mornings, no one's up,
Yeah.
no one's doing anything, so you're working on yourself. And then there's those times when you're working on a project, or you got late nights, or hey, okay, I did this training out in Philly. And it was like, damn, man, like driving out there and then doing the training. But I was like, okay, like this is something I want to do. It's like, okay, I got paid for it. I'm like, okay, this is freaking fresh,
Mhm.
like, okay. Now it was lonely because like most people be like, what, man, fuck that, man. No, why you driving 2 hours for that? Like, what?
Yeah.
For me, I want the reps.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll go and get the reps, man. And I'm gonna get some money for gas and some good and some extra. Like, okay, I'll do it. But it's a lonely place, and recognize that when you're taking on these things, like you may be battling yourself. You may be battling people like, why are you doing, like you said, like, why are you doing that? Because man, I'm on a goal. Why you keep reading so much? Because I'm working on something. Why you always editing? Because I got a podcast.
Hmm.
It's like, so
Yeah.
people are always gonna question. Just keep doing your habits, and you'll find that the success that you've been looking for is right there when you stay on your habit path. Good shit, man. B.
Like it.
Yeah, me too. Babe, what anything else you got for the good folks that we may have forgot to tell the folks about habits?
I think
Success.
I mean, God, there's so much we could talk about. I think little habits are good for just starting to create that momentum. You know,
Yes.
a little like a snowball. You take a little snowball, throw it down a hill. By the time it gets to the bottom of it, it's like, you know, size of a house.
Right. Massive.
But it helps, you know. But I find, like I want to kind of leave everyone with some tips to kind of do. And one of my tips would be like, just write like 10 things down. You don't have to do 10 things every single day, or at one thing every day, but like just say like write a big, I want you to write a big goal. Don't think small, right? Like a big, like if there's something you want, write a big goal, put it there, and just write like 10 things underneath it, what you would need to do to get to that goal. And then just start researching. Don't put any like stress behind it. Don't put any, I don't want you having anxiety over it. Write things that like, hey, if I knew this, I would get to that point. Like if I knew how to do a business plan, if I knew how to get financing done, if I knew how to, whatever it is, and just start diving into it. If I did, marketing is a big one. A lot of people don't know how to market, and just learning a little things every day, and just if you can learn like 2 or 3 things every day, God, man, at the end of the month, that's like 60 to 90 things you didn't know. You
Bruh.
multiply that by 12 over a year, I guarantee you know more than anybody, more than 99% of the people in your field. And don't really try to like have too much of anxiety, like trying to hit that big goal. Just learn, educate yourself, and you'll feel better about yourself. Because a lot of people, they don't do this. That'd be
Brother,
my thing. Big goal and just make a list of things and that you don't understand and find a way how to find it out. And the more you become resourceful, the more confidence you're going to build. That's big.
brother. And there it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is, man. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a tip right there, bro. I don't even there's no mas for me to say that was it.
Yeah. And treat yourself good. Like you're only going to be as sharp, you're only going to have good ideas as much as the energy that you have in your body. So if you're like, use Paul's analogy, if you're throwing double Wendy's, double stacks, I don't even know what the hell they're called, double Wendy's stacks with bacon in your body, you think you're going to be sharp the next day? Absolutely not.
Bro.
You're going to be running on fumes. Your tank's on E. So what you put in your body, is it bringing energy in your body? Is it taking away energy? The more energy that you put in your body, the more better your intuition will be, the better your body will feel, the better your thought, probably the better your sleep will be, the more creative you'll be, the more of your right brain is going to open up more. So, you have more lateral thinking. So look at that as well too.
Mm.
So.
Brother, I hope these people were taking notes. I hope they were taking notes. And if you didn't take, like, you watched this go around, go back again.
Yeah.
Watch this. There's gems in here, and I didn't even get on the editing for yet. There's gems. It's a wrap. Big, thank you, man. Like,
well, thank you.
Yeah, man.
You picked this topic.
I did, didn't I? Yeah,
man, it's not time you have a good idea. It's getting ridiculous.
Listen, hey, a broken clock's right at least twice a day. All right. So that's the mindset. And that's how we do.
We do.
I hope my next I hope my next idea is a good one too. But bless up, everybody. Huh? What's that?
They always are.
See, Brian, he gives me the flowers. Bless up, B. Bless up. By the way, I got 2 other topics we're gonna do from here too.
Okay, love it.
Yes. So people, please like, share, subscribe. If you got this far, appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We appreciate everything that you all are doing for us, how you support us. We're getting up to close to 1,000 now. So keep sharing, subscribing, and liking. Please, please, please. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. You can reach us at morethanblackorwhite@gmail.com. Check us out on the social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Where else? And we got some other fun stuff coming in for the new year. So bless up, everybody. For now, we are out. And until next time, peace.